Welcome into ACC Volleyball live from Dallas, Texas, as two of the conference's newest programs get ready to square off in a top 25 battle from Moody Coliseum. The first meeting in history between number 5 Stanford and number 12 SMU. Taking a look at the latest rankings across the nation. Pitt remains number 1, but SMU just handed them their first loss of the season. And SMU ranked number 12, the highest ranking in program history coming into tonight. Well, we mentioned SMU's big-time upset of Pitt last weekend. SMU's head coach Sam Erger said the team was embarrassed after getting swept by the Panthers in a midweek contest, and they exacted revenge on Saturday. Pitt had only lost 1 set all year heading into that matchup. But SMU took them to 5 and ultimately took down the Panthers, handing them their first loss of the season. Alongside Shelby Coppage, I'm Alex Loeb, and Shelby should be a good one tonight. Let's start with SMU. They've beaten the number 1 team in the nation. They've beaten the number 2 team in the nation, Nebraska. What has been the key for them pulling off all those upsets so far this season?
Play calling. SMU head coach Sam Erger is not stubborn when it comes to making decisions and changing. They lost the first Pitt match because of their blocking. She said the next night when we played them, I completely changed our blocking. Our blockers are doing a whole new scheme. She was not one to be stubborn and stick with that original game plan. She's doing a really good job at making adjustments in real time. I'm interested to see, and if this Stanford match, she makes adjustments set per set rather than match per match.
As for Stanford, again, new members of the ACC, and they are on an extremely long ACC road trip right now. They're not going home for a week, Shelby.
Stanford is tired right now. Head coach Kevin Hamley said this is an adjustment that we are getting used to. Eastern matches, they will have 8 road trips this year, opposite sides of the country. And it's gotten to the point where on their off days, they'll sometimes stay on the road. It's not worth going all the way home. His players are making adjustments to new schools. SMU and Stanford have never played each other. There's not much film. It's going to be an awesome match to see.
Stanford, number 5 in the nation at 13-2 overall. SMU has pulled off the upset special 4 times this year, beating ranked teams. And we are underway with the Cardinal getting the first point of the match. Stanford 5-1 in ACC play coming in.
First kill to Ellia Rubin. She only needs 13 more kills to reach 1,000 of career kills.
Elena Ogilvie, the senior libero, 2-time All-American. Serving for the Cardinal. Sliding over on the attack was Natalie Foster. And the block for SMU, which came up huge against Pitt, helps earn their first point of the night.
SMU getting the block, but Stanford doing a good job. SMU running a 5-1, which means their setter right now is front row and can hit. That ball was just really tight, and it looked like her foot went under the net.
Stanford this year 5-2 against ranked teams. Their only losses to Louisville and Nebraska. Now they are facing a brutal schedule this year, 7 top 10 matchups. Kevin Hamley, 2-time national championship winning head coach, said, hey, listen, it's a sprint, not a sprint, it's a marathon.
On the court is point Stanford. SMU is challenging that there was no net fault.
Already, Shelby, 3 points in. We got a challenge.
It wasn't so much a net fault I saw. It was more of a foot fault, which goes into the net. But Celia Cullen looked like her right foot was completely under the net. I don't think her body actually touched the net. But look at the floor right here. Really tight ball.
The callers confirmed the point will remain with Stanford.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that Coach Erger decided to take that challenge card so early, especially when this ball was so clear. But she potentially might have listened to Celia Cullen, who might have thought she truly wasn't under the net.
Sam Erger, one of the outstanding young coaches in the game today. 3rd year in charge of SMU. Last year was the American Athletic Conference Coach of the Year, building something special here in Dallas. Off the Harvey serve. tapped over by Nia Chimay. Francis right into the block. Nadie Okamore.
Replay, I'm not sure what the call was. It looked like the down ref might have called Stanford in the net when they weren't. Kevin Hambley looking for an answer. Yep, the down ref says that's my bad.
We were seeing Kevin Hambley in his 8th season said, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. This is obviously a huge match as far as the fans are concerned, as far as entertainment is concerned. But he said it's really a good benchmark for us to figure out where we're at this point in the season and what we need to do to get better. He mentioned the goal is not to win the conference, it's to win it all. Well, right now they're having a look at Celia Cullen, the senior setter, number 3 for SMU. Lands awkwardly on that right ankle and goes to the floor. She will tough it out. Stays in there.
And that's blocking is what a 5-1 setter has to do. Again, she is playing all 6 rotations. And when she is being up at the net, she is joining the middle and blocking the outside.
Even Kevin Hambley mentioned he can't talk about SMU's rise to prominence without mentioning Celia Cullen.
That missed serve is something Kevin Hambley is okay with. He wants his team to serve deep and aggressive. And he said, as long as these are close misses, I'm okay with the errors. I want aggressiveness rather than being safe.
Casey Batenhorst, the junior setter. This team loaded with experience, so many upperclassmen on this squad, 9 seniors. Just 1 underclassman on the active roster, and a service error by SMU sends it back the other way.
Service errors seem to be contagious, and sometimes, especially this season, it feels that can really be the game changer because all teams are really trying to be super aggressive at the service line.
Sam Erger said she cried after that victory over Pittsburgh over the weekend, said after the loss midweek, getting swept by the Panthers, she was hoping her team would still believe in themselves, and they did, pulling off the upset of the season so far. Tapped over, pancake, no point, Stanford, thanks to Ipar Kurt.
Good eye by Kurt. She saw how pulled back Celia Cullen was, went right over that block, easy drop.
Ipar Kurt, ACC Freshman of the Week, hit nearly 700 against Boston College in their last match. Another service error, however, by the Cardinal.
3 service errors so far in the first set. Could be some nerves. Again, these teams have never faced each other. That is so rare in T1 volleyball, even if you're not in the same conference.
Well, if this were last year, it would be a Pac-12 AAC matchup. Instead, both in the ACC this year. On the attack was Kurt, denied by that SMU block.
Perfect lineup with Okamore and Chimay. Left of your screen, forearms perfectly in place. That pressing by Chimay, making sure there is no way her hands are pointed out, but back into the court, avoiding being tooled.
Nia Chimay, the opposite, out of Casper, Wyoming, who had a huge match against Pitt with 20 kills. That one blasted out of play. So far, a few service errors by Stanford, a few attack errors as well. That has the Mustangs in front by 1. Here is Maya Tabron, one of the numerous transfers on this veteran SMU squad, sliding over Francis on the attack.
Great
SMU
coverage.
keeps it alive. Natalie Perdue. They provided instant energy late in that Pitt match, and there is the block by Nadie Okamore.
Okamore standing 6'4". If you're Stanford, you got to make sure your arm and swing is going around her. She's so good at hunting that ball and reading Stanford's arm swing perfectly.
Okamore had 12 blocks against Pitt over the weekend. Here's Tabron, can't get it over the net.
Talking missed serves and what your coach is okay and not okay with. If your ball can't cross the net, that's when, don't want to be this player with Sam Erger. But again, you just make quick adjustments and hope the ball comes to you for serve receive.
Here is Taylor Yu, freshman setter out of Temple City, California. 16 aces on the year. Cullen for Purdue. Attack error by the senior, the Dallas native.
It's the blocks right now for both SMU and Stanford. Hands lined up perfectly against the outside. Purdue not able to cross the net, but the coverage was not there for the Mustangs. Got to make sure you're low.
A number of service errors already by Stanford has SMU back in front by 1. So the Mustangs entered the season not ranked at all, but now up to number 12 in the country, the highest ranking in program history. Ellie Bolton, the grad transfer from Creighton, serving for the Ponies.
Nice serve.
Sliding over on the attack, Lizzie Andrew with the point.
Nice footwork by Lizzie Andrew, chasing that ball, making sure her form is perfect. And then when you're only up against one blocker, you know you have that swing open going across your body.
It's a young Stanford team, 8 underclassmen on the roster compared to just 1 for SMU who has played this year. Here is Cami Minor, one of the most electric players in the game, and she delivers an ace, the 2-time All-American.
No matter what your team is struggling with, Cami Minor's going to fix that. Whether it's serving or Stanford right now, even if it's blocking or passing, this setter can do it all.
On the National Player of the Year watch list, Cullen, Purdue, took something off of it. Minor was there. Timing a little bit off there for Harvey, and we're tied again.
Kevin Hamway said Harvey is such an athlete, but he's trying to turn her into a volleyball player. Make sure in those off-speed sets, you get the ball over and in.
Here is Nia Chimay, last week named ACC Defensive Player of the Week. Minor swooping in on the attack was Kerr denied. That one kept alive by Ogilvy. Purdue was there at the net for SMU.
Kirk doubting the hang time Natalie Purdue has at the net. Middle of your screen. Purdue blocks that ball while she's coming down. That just shows you how long she was staying in the air. Got to make sure for Kurt that ball's over even higher.
Natalie Purdue came in late in that match against Pitt on Saturday and provided a huge spark off the bench in the win. Attack error by the Cardinal. SMU by 2.
Stanford completely out of system. Again, that's why your serve receive is so important. That dictates how the play is going to go and who Cami Minor can let run the offense.
Again, SMU's beaten #1 Pitt. They swept #2 Nebraska earlier in the year here in Dallas in front of a record-setting crowd. And they've also beaten #13 Georgia Tech and #18 Baylor. Nothing popped up and out of play. Point for Stanford.
Stanford able to make production happen with an out-of-system play, which is a quick adjustment. That's what this team does. They do not get rattled. They are extremely poised. I mean, they go to Stanford. These are players that are elite in the classroom, on the court. I like seeing the errors fixed next play.
Acceptance rate at Stanford is less than 4%. It's easier to get into Yale than it is to Stanford.
Don't tell George W. that, Alex.
He is here. Number 43, former President George W. Bush. We're watching SMU relinquish that 2-point lead. We're now tied at 10. There he is, former President George W. Bush. His name adorns the Bush Presidential Library here on campus. His wife on hand as well, the former First Lady and proud SMU grad, Laura Bush. Swooping in from the back row was Chimay on the attack, but Pringle was there. SMU block delivers. Cardinal back at it. Purdue slams it into the back row, and Pringle. Sliding over was Cullen. Free ball for the Cardinal. And tooling the block is Stanford, jumping in front now by 1.
And Celia Colon is 6'1", but she is not a blocker. She is there to set. So Stanford's going to pick on her hands whenever she's upsetting.
Here's Anna Pringle, a junior out of La Jolla, California. Another service error. That is already 4 in the first set for Stanford. Again, the first ever meeting between these two squads. If you saw the pit match on Saturday, Dan Fisher had to cover his ears because it was so loud in this building. Maybe a little bit of nerves early on for Stanford, maybe not, but again, a number of service errors to begin the match for the Cardinal. There's Jamison Wheeler. That one a little bit behind Rubin, who had to reach for it. Shimei. Ogilvy. Back to Rubin off the block and the point.
Perfect approach by Rubin. This ball was coming from the back row over her shoulder, but she still timed it out perfectly. That kind of offset is when you'll see hitters roll or tip, but Rubin's going for those 1,000 kills tonight.
The All-American who entered the match just 14 away from 1,000 for her career. There's Elena Ogilvy. Cullen. Well, how about Natalie Foster, transferred over from Wichita State, and Sam Erger says she has the best arm she's ever coached. She said her arm is so good, it should be insured.
Natalie Foster is who Kevin Hambley said we have to shut down to be successful tonight, and you cannot give her a split. She's going to go down and get that kill.
Also one of the best servers in the nation. 42 aces, number 7 in the country.
What a serve.
She is on the defensive end. That one well out of play from Tabron.
I almost thought there was a touch on that ball, and you'll see outsides take big swings, trying to barely touch their opponent's fingertips and make sure that there's a touch that the back line will be able to run it down.
Jordan Harvey, 7 aces in a match earlier this year against Minnesota, but another service error, number 5 for Stanford. What do you see going on there from the service line for the Cardinal?
Stanford's doing what they do. They're trying to be really aggressive. I actually really like that serve from Anna Pringle. That's really a decision on SMU. Is this ball in or out? Because half the time, players will take that ball and pass it.
Here's Casey Batemorse, led the team in aces a season ago. The Houston native. SMU top 25 in the country in aces. That one blasted wide.
Error for Stanford, but that set from Cami Minor was beautiful. Really low, not moving at all. There's no spin on it. Perfectly set in that window.
So far in the match, SMU hitting minus 040, Stanford minus 167. Sliding over, pushed off the block by Francis. Swooping in on the attack, Maya Tabron. So a timeout here from Dallas. The host Mustangs see football game and take it in this one again here from Moody Coliseum. What a season for SMU's volleyball team. So far the best in program history. Number 12 and climbing. But a service error there coming out of the timeout. Back to a 1-point set.
This set is a situation where you most likely will see a completely different serving style in the second set. I really think a lot of nerves setting in right now. These players have never seen each other. They'll settle in.
Elia Rubin, the All-American, junior out of California. Purdue was there. Cullen flying in Shimei. Off Okamore. Cullen into the block it goes. And Stanford with the point. The Cardinal trying to go on a run.
Stanford doing a good job at changing up their shots. If the hard cross doesn't work, they're going to go over the block. They're going to go in the middle of the court. They're doing a really nice job of reading the play, the defense in front of them.
Rubin. Into the net it goes. And there is an ace for Rubin and the Cardinal.
Right now, whichever team can be in system is who is going to get the point. Serve receive kind of all over the place so far. Make sure you just get it 10 feet off the net, 20 feet in the air, slow the play down, then start giving those 3 option passes. Stanford
by 1. But another service error, number 6 of the opening set.
Both teams hitting negative right now, so really being challenged offensively besides the service line.
Maya Tabron serving, one of 8 players who transferred in either last year or the year before for Sam Erger. Oh, the dump by Minor caught SMU off guard. Stanford back up by 1.
Minor already getting offensive. I like to see this. I was wondering who would get offensive first, her or Cullen. I like to see Cami Minor taking matters into her own hands, literally, and she sees that spot open against SMU.
Storied career she has had, top 3 all-time in assist in program history. Cullen. On the back end was Rubin, swatted down by Okamore, and too much power from the grad student.
Good effort by Taylor Yu, but too much power by Okamore. This is why it's so important to keep the ball on your side of the net, especially against Okamore. This SMU middle will punish you, not with a tip or roll, but she'll swipe it to the side.
Transfer out of Florida, we asked Sam Erger about all the transfers. She said, listen, building up the program right now from where we were, it was easier to get talented transfers than it was to get kids out of high school. That one dug out high off of Tabron, and the point for Stanford.
Stanford's point, the ball hit the Jumbotron. That's a downside of having a really low Jumbotron, is that you can't play off of it when it lands on your opponent's side.
Sam Erger saying, as we get better and better, get more respect, higher up in the rankings, we are going to start getting those talented recruits out of high school to come and play for SMU. But right now, it's been all portal power for the Mustangs. That one dropped in there nicely by Natalie Foster.
What a set from Celia Cullen. Look how far back she is from Foster. She is nowhere near the front. Usually setters will set their pins, not Celia Cullen. She's going right for the middle. She can set from wherever she is on the floor.
Cullen a few years ago was a starter at Michigan State, left that program to join a rebuilding SMU team, and it has paid off big time. A point for Stanford as this opening set back and forth.
Stanford starting to look a little bit relaxed, and SMU's doing a nice job at getting on the floor. That's all Sam Erger can ask for, is the effort. And right now, Stanford's hits are just being lethal.
And a Pringle getting ready to serve for Stanford. There's Ellie Bolton diving in to save it. Was Cullen. That one hammered off Ogilvy.
Great up by Ogilvy.
Nice dig on the other end by Chimay. There's Jamison Wheeler. Out of play, point Stanford.
Not sure what Wheeler was going for. She was almost at the 10-foot line, and she was kind of rolling the ball. It makes it really hard to get a touch from your opponent. That's the kind of play you just keep the ball in play.
And the timeout by SMU. As Stanford suddenly up by 2 here in the first set. Well, Sunday we've got a women's sports triple header on the ACC network. Starts at noon Eastern with soccer as Cal takes on Louisville. That'll be followed by Stanford squaring off against Notre Dame. And then at 4 Eastern, it's back to the volleyball court as Duke gets ready to face Virginia Tech. So in this highly anticipated matchup here from Moody Coliseum, Shelby, you look at this SMU team. Sam Erger said, we're not underdogs, we're unknown, but I don't like the term underdogs. However you want to describe them, they have pulled off 4 upsets this year. Pitt and Nebraska have only lost 1 match apiece, both to this SMU squad, and they also beat 2 other ranked teams. What's the ceiling for them this year?
For SMU, I honestly could not tell you at this point. I really think that they have a great coaching staff led by Sam Erger. And to your point, what she said is, we're not underdogs. We're the new kids on the block that no one knows about yet. This is their first year in the ACC, and look at what they're doing, taking down the top 2 teams, not even just the conference, the nation. They can do everything right now. And when we asked her, Coach, realistically, where would you want your team to be end of the year? She said, national championship. Why not? If Pitt can just go as far as they can, if Louisville can do that, there's no blueprint to volleyball. I want to go all the way with these players.
And 3 of their wins against ranked teams weren't just wins, they were sweeps. The play resuming with Stanford up by 2. Pringle serving, but another service error by the Cardinal.
Volleyball 101, you cannot miss your serve out of a timeout. That's called ice. You got to make sure that ball's over and in. Don't let that delay in play startle you.
7th service error of the set. Minor. Great set, but that one out of play by Harvey. We're tied at 20. Right now, Stanford hitting 031, SMU minus 050. Monster attack by Elia Rubin, the All-American, who put Stanford back up by 1. Remember, SMU dropped the opening set in their win against Pitt.
It doesn't get any better than this play. Rubin going all the way, but it starts with Kimmy Minor set in that perfect pass, completely in system textbook play.
Minor more than 4,400 career assists and counting. Tabron diving attempt by Ogilvy, kept it in play. Oh, pancake delivered by Chimay for SMU. Bodies flying all over the place, and Stanford ends up with the point, back up by 2.
This was my favorite play of the match so far. What a dig from Ogilvy, making that hard hit look easy, and then the pancake from SMU, players going all out and getting these amazing ups.
This team's going at it here in the opening set. There's the former Pac-12 libero of the year, Ogilvy, with the serve, hammered into the block by Foster. Somehow it's still alive, but now Stanford pulling away up 23-20, much to the approval there of Sammy Francis, the senior middle blocker. So Stanford, despite all those service errors we talked about, starting to pull away here late in the first set.
And to that last point, again, it's all about the effort. Such great defense from both teams. And even though this play didn't work out from SMU, that will work out eventually. If you get a body on the floor, that's exactly what your coach wants to see.
Kevin Hambley, two-time national champion. He said, listen, we're a major work in progress. Those were his words, despite being ranked number 5 in the nation. He said, we're really young right now. Again, this will be a good test to figure out where we're at in this season. But he said, don't be fooled. There are plenty of things to work on at this point in the year.
And Kevin Hambley said earlier this year, our block was a mess. He said our passing was average. We are cleaning things up, and you can see in this first set from both sides, there's a little bit of issues on the serving. That's an easy fix. That's like your basketball free throw. That's all on one player. That's a mental thing. Regarding defense, I love what we're seeing so far.
Started off the year 7-0, best start through 7 games in a decade. And so far 5-1 in conference play in their first year in the ACC. So here is Elena Ogilvy with her team on a 5-0 run. This arena coming alive here in Dallas. That one absolutely blasted by Maya Tabron.
It does not get any better than this swing from Tabron. Such a low set, forcing that quick and leaving that line wide open. Kimmy Minor not able to get her hands up in time to keep that ball in play.
Two-time all Pac-12 performer, formerly with Colorado. Foster with that lethal serve. And nearly got her first ace of the night. Free ball for SMU. Cullen. Tabron again with authority. SMU within 1.
You can literally hear Tabron making contact with that ball. The slap is so loud. That is showing you the
serving. Natalie Foster's got 42 aces this year. She had 54 for her entire career at Wichita State. That was a 4-year career. Getting more opportunities here at SMU. That one off the tape. Minor. That one pushed over. Chimay reaching for it, saves it. Here comes Tabron. Cullen. Okamura tools the block, and just like that, we're tied at 23.
nice kill from SMU, but it all started with Stanford being out of system. That set and communication was just not there, essentially giving SMU an absolute free ball, not giving Ogilvy the chance to get a touch on it.
Well, SMU has responded to that 5-0 Stanford run with a 3-0 run of their own, but we will have a challenge by Kevin Hambley.
Original call is point SMU. Stanford is challenging. There's a net fault on the play.
So that net fault could be anywhere in that play. It doesn't have to be the last touch. It might have been when SMU had the ball really far off the net. I'm not sure if Okamore, they think she touched the net with her hand in her swing. Her feet clearly look over the line. Watch her footwork. She's coming in from really far off and at almost the 10-foot line, and it's so hard to drop right. No, her feet look good. Her feet look good. It doesn't look like her hand touched. It might have been earlier in the play. Again, SMU was a little out of system earlier, having that ball really far off the net, forcing the hitter to be up front. And that's why blocking, in my opinion, is so hard. You have to jump straight up, hitting. You have to land in front of that line when you are flying into the net, but somehow you have to land straight down. It's incredible to see how athletic these players are and the discipline they have hitting-wise.
So as they continue to review this one, two top 12 teams.
After review, there's a net fault on the play, point Stanford.
It's going to get a little bit into the rankings, but just like that, we have a decision, and Kevin Hamley with a successful challenge must have come earlier in the play. And just like that, instead of tied at 23, Stanford has set point. A big moment in this opening set. And serving is Melissa Kawa, the freshman out of San Pedro, California. A couple of aces in the opening set for Stanford. Off the tape, and there is an ace to end the set. Despite 7 service errors in the opening set, the Cardinal delivers 3 aces. And they take the opening set here in Dallas from Moody Coliseum. A little bit of royalty on here, watching this one on hand. 25-22. Stanford takes set number 1. We'll be back from Dallas. Well, the good news for Stanford, they are undefeated this year when winning the first set. They have taken the first set tonight for SMU. Just 1-3 on the year when losing the first set, but there is a big asterisk there in front of that 1-3. The one victory was against number 1 ranked Pitt this past weekend, so we'll see how they respond here. Speaking of SMU, Sam Erger comes from a family of winners. Listen to this. Last year, she was named American Athletic Conference Coach of the Year. Her sister Jordan was named Lone Star Conference Coach of the Year as head coach of Dallas Baptist. And her dad, Jim Fish, is one of the greatest high school volleyball coaches in history, nominated for National Coach of the Year. She said, yes, there is a friendly rivalry that pushes all of us to be our best. But you talk about a legacy there. Sam Erger's family, winners through and through.
Would have loved to know what that dynamic in the household was like. You can't all be the leader, but clearly in this family you can.
Competitive. You talk to her, you get a sense of her charisma, her leadership. You can see why her players have responded to her. Again, coming off last year, an incredible year, their final year in the American Athletic Conference. And so far this season, 5-1 in ACC play. Ranked for the first time this year in program history. They've set record attendance. They have already set a season record for attendance, Shelby, on the year. And we're only 6 games into conference play, 6 matches in. Incredible numbers, and the fans are responding here in Dallas. Natalie Foster serving to begin set number 2, leading the ACC in aces. There is Francis with the opening point of the set.
Sammy Francis with a jam. She's number 32 in the nation when it comes to hitting percentage because of how accurate she is. Even when she is so set off the net like this play, she makes production happen. That's because she is smart. She doesn't just keep it in. She's going for the floor open space.
6'6" middle blocker who can move extremely well. Service error by the Cardinal, number 8 on the night. In the match so far, as Kevin Hamley has a chat with Jordan Harvey, the sophomore opposite. Hamley's squad hitting 135 this evening. SMU zeros in that category. Batenhorst serving for the Mustangs. Back to Francis goes Stanford. Okamore was right there waiting for it. And again, the SMU block delivers. See if third time's a charm for the Cardinal. Tabron slid in there to save it. It's Kawa. Tooling the block is Elia Rubin.
Stanford's defense turning to offense. So many great ups on the Cardinal side, not just from their all-star libero Ogilvy, but their setter Cami Minor, covering your hitter. That's what you have to do. Get in close, let your hitter know, hit anywhere you want. If you get blocked, I will get that ball up for you. Amazing play. Perfect on the Cardinal side.
Elia Rubin serving 85 aces during her career, but a service error. Up to 9 for Stanford.
There's nothing like a drain of energy when you have a huge play defensively, offensively, and then miss your serve. Something Stanford has to clean up if they're going to keep winning these sets.
Maya Tabron more than 100 aces during her time dating back to Colorado. On the attack for Stanford, Ipar Kurt, the talented redshirt freshman.
Nice eye by Kurt. She sees this tiny split in the block, and she has a perfect arm swing. Left to your screen. Watch this snap in her wrist. That is perfect form right there.
Again, hit 700 with 12 kills against Boston College for an ACC Freshman of the Week. All right, Shelby, it's now double-digit service errors for Stanford. Are we overreacting here?
No, we're not. SMU's 3 points have been 2 of them because of Stanford's missed serves. Make SMU earn their points.
Taylor Bevan, the senior out of St. Louis. Stanford. Here's Ellie Bolton, the libero. Transfer from Creighton, keeping that one alive was Melissa Kawa. Cullen in the middle. That one destroyed by Foster. Stanford somehow keeps it in play. Free ball coming up for SMU. Flying it is Chimay with the point.
A-plus effort from Stanford, but not able enough to stop Nia Chimay. That's why it's so important to make sure you are hitting at SMU. And this is great defense. This is great teamwork, communication in a gym that's so hard to hear. But again, that's what SMU will do with free balls, put it down.
Ellie Bolton, 16 aces this season. Her squad up by 1. Cami Minor. That one off the block. What a play on the back end by Bolton. Minor. And the point for Ipar Kurt and the Cardinal.
And Kurt has been such a constant leader when it comes to hitting. She hit 600 against Boston, 300 against Syracuse, and that's because she's really making better decisions. Kevin Hambley said every match she goes further and further maturity-wise on where to hit the ball.
Redshirt freshman out of Istanbul, Turkey, having an impact early tonight. That one swatted down and terminated by Jamison Wheeler.
There is zero stopping that swing from Wheeler right in the middle, the outside of the line, and that's because she credits Colin to her success of over 1,000 kills so far.
She's got an incredible vertical in one offseason, went from touching 10 feet to 10.5. That one off the block, and the point by Stanford, tied again.
Lizzie Andrew whipping the ball a little bit, but still making it happen. SMU clearly frozen in base. Got to make sure you're able to react and run forward to get that ball up.
Andrew, one of these 8 underclassmen on this young Stanford squad, but already top 10 in the ACC in hitting percentage in her first year with the team. Here is Anna Pringle. 3 aces on the night so far for Stanford. Tapped into the block by Wheeler. Foster, a diving Minor, digs that one out. On the attack and delivering is Elia Rubin.
Cami Minor, the all-star setter, making a huge dig, getting on the ground and making sure it goes in the middle of the court, letting Ogilvy setter outside, and a huge hit from Rubin going into the net.
Off the Pringle serve. Oh, the dump by Celia Cullen. Point SMU.
Punch for punch right now when it comes to offense. SMU answering quickly to Stanford. Again, Cullen getting in on the action, seeing Cammie Minor get a point and wanting to be offensive as well. Again, running that 5-1 is really important.
Minor. SMU comes right back to take the lead, 7-6.
Tabron is the Mustangs' X factor. Whether it's defense at the front or her offense, right now she's doing all of it, and she's really bringing that energy to the huddle.
Had a double-double against Pitt over the weekend. The Wheelers serve too strong.
Again, talking about momentum, it's just suffocating when you have a huge play, huge swing by your outside hitter, getting the kill, and then you miss your serve. Really hard to let that get in your head.
The SMU top 25 in the nation in aces per set, still looking for their first tonight. Stanford with 3 aces and 10 service errors. Foster. And the point for the Mustangs, back up by 1.
Elia Rubin read Foster's arm correctly. The issue was Rubin's left hand was pointing outside to the court. If she just points it into the middle, that's going to be a block next time.
Last year, Foster was number 12 in the nation in hitting percentage. And this year, hitting nearly 400. That serve just a bit too far. Some gasps from the fans here. They thought it was in.
Oh, I thought a player was going to get just hit in the chest. That is a serve that Erger will not be mad at Natalie Foster for. That's an absolute missile coming at Stanford.
Here's Melissa Kawa off the tape. Minor charging in and met at the top of the net was Elia Rubin, but ends up getting the point in this seesaw second set.
And balls are set really tight right now when the second play is out of system. Make sure that ball is just a little bit off the net.
Kawa again with the serve. Okamura to reach back for that one. Here comes Tabron. Dug out by Ogilvy. Pushed over the block. Chimay again falling to the floor for that one. Hammered off Ogilvy and out of play. Point Mustangs.
The fact Ogilvy even got that ball up on her platform shows you how good of a libero she is, because that ball is coming straight down. Again, the X factor for SMU. This outside can do no wrong right now.
Tied at 9 here in the second set. Stanford took the opening set 25-22 in the first meeting in history between these two squads. Minor Francis right off the block, and SMU up by 1.
And SMU right now running a 6-2. Casey Baden-Horst back row serving. Right now Cullen is off. Not sure if it's her ankle or just needing some time to rest. But now the offense won't be there from the setter for the Mustangs.
Sam Erger very adept at making changes. Made a number of personnel and scheme changes after that first loss to Pitt. That resulted in the win on Saturday. But Stanford responds, tooling the block Elia Rubin as she gets closer and closer to 1,000 career kills.
5 kills left till 1,000 for Rubin, and she is not scared of SMU's hands right now. She's making them work for her in her favor. Got to make sure the Mustangs are pressing against her.
Rubin serving. Cullen. Chimay denied by the 6'6" middle blocker, Sammy Francis.
Suffocating block from Sammy Francis, who is number 25 in the nation in blocks per set. And how she makes her arms reach over. She wasn't really close to Minor, but she uses that arm span, that wingspan, to make sure the ball touches her hands.
She had 10 blocks in a match earlier this year against UC Santa Barbara. That one off Rubin and out of play. SMU responds. We're tied again.
No one can go on a run right now. It is back and forth, and that is my personal favorite kind of volleyball. Each team giving great answers, whether it's a block or a tool. The defense, offense, it's looking great in the second set.
There's two teams putting on a show for the former president, George W. Bush, in his first volleyball match of the season here in Dallas. Francis responds with the point.
Easy call by Francis. She saw Okamore's hands really far off the net. Okamore a little late footwork-wise. That translates into her arms being off the net. Make sure you are stopped and reaching over.
Francis top 5 in the ACC in hitting percentage. Sounds weird again to say Stanford in the ACC. They're in the midst of a week-long road trip. They'll stay here for a few more days and then head to Pittsburgh. And the Stanford block showing up tonight in Dallas.
No one has a better block celebration than Stanford setter Cami Minor. She is electrifying. And when this setter gets the block, she gets her whole front row pumped up. Hey, if I'm blocking, you better be blocking too.
Cardinal up by 2, but service error number 11 for Stanford.
I understand Kevin Hambley wants his team to serve all out, but when the errors are racking up and the set is this close, you got to just make sure your players are being more efficient when it comes to that ball getting over and in.
There's Ellie Bolton serving. Transfer from Creighton, who was voted a captain for being on the team for just a few months. Shows what kind of an impact she has. Speaking of impacts, Ipar Kurt with a deep impact the ACC Freshman of the Week delivers.
A+ connection with Minor and Kurt, putting that ball in the perfect setter window, making it a quick pointer more into the middle of the court, leaving that line wide open.
Cami Minor serving. Already been named ACC Setter of the Week 3 times this year. Sound like a broken record, Shelby. A dozen service errors for the Cardinal.
And Stanford serving really hard, but their float serves aren't dropping.
Here's Nia Chimay, senior opposite out of Wyoming. Minor. That one smashed by Ipar Kurt. So the Cardinal trying to pull away here in the middle of set number 2 after taking the opening set. They're up by 2 here in the second in Dallas. The ESPN, one of 4 remaining matches this regular season on ESPN. Should be a good one between the Cardinal and the Panthers. And Stanford not going back home until next week on this big road trip. Out of the break, Stanford up by 2, into the block it goes. Wheeler was a part of that for the Mustangs.
SMU getting completely lucky, overpassing to Stanford, but somehow making it go their way. Again, you got to make sure the ball is on your side. It's not going to keep working out for SMU this much if they keep overpassing.
The Austin, Texas native pulls the Mustangs within 1, but it's back to a 2-point Stanford lead.
Right now, the story for Stanford is serving. They want to go behind the line and not just go over and in, but go on a run, get 2, 3 serves.
Mentioned SMU top 25 in the country in aces, yet to record one tonight. Foster off the block, reaching for it. She was already down. Pringle still managed to hit it. Tabron.
If you don't have 4 hands together against Tabron, it is going to be a kill for this Mustang. And if your split is there, she's going to go right through you. Watch this swing right to your screen. Look how hard this hammer comes down. It's strength, it's power, and she really speeds up that approach. She's the complete X factor right now for SMU.
In a big match, 11 kills, 10 digs, and 4 blocks against Pitt in the win. But now it's 7 service errors and no aces for SMU. But Natalie Foster delivered the match-ending ace against Pitt. But right now, the Ponies still looking for the first. Still a 2-point set here in the second. Cow is serving. Stanford returns the favor.
Missed serves are like a yawn. You see someone do it, it's contagious. I swear it's contagious right now, and it really is. But that was a great miss. Again, you want your serve, if you miss it, to go over in hard, making SMU decide, is this ball in or out? The net error is the one that you just can't accept.
Let's see how Batenhorst responds with her team back within 1. And Stanford hasn't lost this year after winning the first set. Rubin diving in to save it was Batenhorst. Chimay That one deflected out of play. Point Stings, tied at 17.
If you could get a kill on Elena Ogilvy, you're doing something right. This is one of my favorite players in the nation to watch. This libero gets everything up right here on your screen. White jersey, number 9, and she's 5'10". She is 5 inches taller than your average D1 libero. She could be a hitter, but she is that good at defense.
Two-time All-American, two-time Pac-12 Libero of the Year. Now in the ACC, here is Celia Cullen, the senior setter. Miter, and Francis earns the point for Stanford, back up by 1.
Francis getting involved on the slide, a good connection with her and Miner. That's the last thing that happened in the gym, is this right here, that footwork, the connection on the slide with the setter. It's really hard to know where your middle blocker wants it behind you.
Preseason All-ACC pick. Off the Rubin serve. Tabron nearly took the head off of Melissa Kawa.
How many times are we going to say Tabron gets the kill? And she's not reverting to rolls or tips. She is going for the chest of Stanford.
She's got a team-high 6 kills, helping to tie the matchup once again. Miner flying in to keep it alive. Cullen and Chimay with the point. SMU grabs a 1-point lead.
Easy up for SMU because that ball from Cami Miner was really slow, and Kurt is really tall. She has a long arm span. She needs that ball higher in order to get that full arm swing going. If it's too low, it's going to be just a tip.
I mean, I know Stanford took the opening set. Who has the momentum right now in set number 2?
In my opinion, whoever has the momentum is the team that just got the point. It is back and forth right now. There are no runs. No one is holding on to that ball. Doing a good job at siding out, but also these serves are suffocating right now. When it comes to offense and defense, these teams are going all out. It's up to take whoever wants it.
Well, Saturday morning at 11 Eastern,
you are doing something right. And now behind the service line, interested to see if she gets some back row sets attempts as well.
On the night, Stanford hitting 217, SMU 182. Tabron. Miner. There's Francis, denied by Okamore. This time they go to the other side and Ipar Kurt. Jamison Wheeler. Okamore, a huge match against Pitt, coming alive here late in set number 2, along with Chimay.
This block is what volleyball players call a roof. Look at Chimay's hands, along with Okamore. 4 strong hands pointed down on the side of Stanford. There's zero way they were about to get tooled.
8 blocks on the night for SMU, helping them go on a 3-0 run. Mustangs by 2, pushed over by Francis. Here comes Jamison Wheeler. Francis with the point for the Cardinal.
Francis and Miner showing off that chemistry they have. And they weren't even that far on the net. This was not a tight set, but Miner still knows where Francis needs that ball and making it easy for Francis to literally run this ball down and just swing across her shoulders.
Cami Miner, 21 assists so far on the night. Here is Sammy Francis. They've had a few hit the tape. Chimay skied for that one, but too much on it.
An actual missile from Chimay. That ball could put someone on their feet, or off their feet, excuse me. If she just snapped her wrist a little bit more, that would have been an immediate kill.
Offense has picked up in this set. Both teams hitting over 300. That one off the video board. Miner. And the point by Ipar Kurt.
Perfect placement from Ipar Kurt. She looks at the left back and sees, if I just drop my thumb, lift my pinky, this ball will go straight down across in front of the 10-foot line. Great vision, seeing there's only one blocker on her. The libero was not in base. Perfect eyesight by her.
You know, SMU got all the attention coming into this one after the upset of Pitt, but Stanford still very quietly number 5 in the nation and up by 1. Let's take a look at the top 3 crowds in program history. All take place this season to watch this number 12 ranked team in the nation. Even Spider-Man is here in the house, Shelby. Spider-Man or George W. Bush?
Choose your player.
Never know what you'll see here to watch the Mustangs at home. Stanford hanging on by 1 here in set number 2. Cami Minor. Kurt tooling the block, and she is fired up. And just like late in set number 1, the Cardinals start to pull away just by a little bit.
I love the energy from Kurt, getting that kill, screaming so loud. That's what it takes to drag that momentum. Is your reaction to your big kill you just got?
Francis with the serve. 4-0 run by the Cardinal, and that one is in. SMU desperately needed that. Jamison Wheeler delivers.
Nice shot by Wheeler. Kind of a mix of a roll and a hard-hitting shot. That's what happens when you get a down ball set. It gives you that extra spin on the ball.
Mustangs in a crucial, you would think, second set here, already down 1-0. Ellie Bolton with the serve, and a big service error to put Stanford back up by 2.
I really can't talk as a player. I had my issues with missing serves, especially when the crowd is this big. It shouldn't matter, but these coaches recruit for who can shine the brightest under the brightest of lights.
Here is Cami Minor, 75 career aces. That one backs up Tabron. Free ball on the way for Stanford, up by 2 in the middle. Set point on the way for the Cardinal.
Stanford had to get that point, and Ogilvy stepping in for that free ball. Anytime a team gets a free ball, that libero better be the one to pass right on Cami Minor's head, making it an easy decision to run that fast tempo offense through Lizzie Andrew, leaving no blockers able to set up straight against her.
Stanford has some talented freshmen such as Lizzie Andrew, top 10 in the ACC in hitting percentage, and coming up with a huge point right there. For SMU, is it a must-win set?
Absolutely. If you are down 0-2 at home, you have all the momentum for Stanford. It's really hard to come back. It, of course, can be done. If anyone can do that, it's SMU. But, of course, Sam Erger is trying everything she can to avoid having to play that far down in a huge match, especially at home.
Stanford undefeated on the year after winning the first set, trying to take set number 2 as well. As for the host Mustangs, we said they began the season unranked, now up to number 12, ranked for the first time in history, their highest ranking ever. And they just continue to pull off the upsets.
And building teams is what Sam Erger does. Her 8 seasons at Baylor, she put together and coordinated one of the best classes they had in history of the program. She has that talent. She has the eye. Who will match this culture? Who will complement each other? Her first season here, her first practice of the spring, 6 players in the gym. You can't even play a match with that. There's no libero. There's one setter. She built a whole team, and she had to use the transfer portal. And I just love to see what she's done in only 3 seasons with 6 players starting out.
Trying to see her team rally here late in the second. Set point for the Cardinal. In the middle, Foster keeping SMU alive in set number 2.
If Stanford can't get forehands against Foster, it's going to be a kill for SMU. Look at that reach she brings, that footwork, that approach, everything looking perfectly and going right through that seam, making it impossible for Ogilvy to get a touch.
Set point number 2 for Stanford. Shimei serving for SMU. Falling down was Rubin, kept it going. Push it out wide for Jamison Wheeler. And just like that, the Mustangs have pulled within 1.
A nice set by Colin, going over her body, facing the back. Over that side set, Emily even pointed that out. That's something that SMU setter Celia Colin really does a good job at. Setters usually try and make their shoulders face their hitter, but Colin, if she can't, she'll still go to the outside. She doesn't need to be in place perfectly.
I was really impressed by how Kevin Hamley put this match in perspective. We touched on it a little bit earlier, but he told us during the week it's going to be great. A top 25 matchup, top 12 to be exact. It's going to be exciting for the fans, but he said that all this is a benchmark for where we're at. It's not the end of the world, win or lose. Their long-term goal is to win the last match of the season, which in his eyes would be the national championship.
And for Kevin Hamley, his star outside Elia Rubin needs 4 more kills to achieve 1,000 career kills for Stanford. And right now, it's looking like she's going to get that. Her connection with her setter, Kimmy Miner, is completely there. And she's moving the ball around. She's also not afraid to go off the hands of SMU and get that tool. You see Shimei, her hand not placing over. Rubin sees that. She reads the defense in front of her. She reads the defense behind on the back line. She has that high IQ and that great vision it takes to get 1,000 career kills.
And 4 kills away. Meanwhile, for her squad, it will be set point number 3 as SMU has pulled within 1. Rubin pumps up her teammates. For the Mustangs, it will be Nia Shimei, the senior opposite, serving with the set on the line. SMU looking for their first ace of the night. Miner. That one off of Tabron, and Stanford will grab set number 2, 25-23, and take a 2-0 lead here in Dallas.
Stanford able to stay in system, starting with that perfect pass, allowing Kimmy Miner to set any hitter she wants to, running that fast tempo offense. And Stanford, again, the last one to take away the momentum. And again, good try by SMU. Great touches, just not able to beat Stanford in that second set.
We will talk to SMU head coach Sam Erger in just a second here, as Stanford takes the opening set 25-22. The second one 25-23. Coach, both sets have been extremely close. What's been the difference in your eyes?
Well, I mean, they're trying to give it away with as many serves as they're missing. I'm a little disappointed in our the way that we started. I don't think they started well either. We need to kill the ball a little bit more, and we need to take advantage of, honestly, them not having a great night right now. I'm bummed. We need to show up and fight a little more than what we are. That will show up with an offense that's firing on all cylinders. I felt like the first set was really slow and could have went to either team. That was a great little challenge by him to flip it, but we're just not being ourselves right now. We need everybody to step it up.
Maya Tabron being the X factor right now, energy-wise, kill-wise, how can that spread out to the rest of your offense?
Sure. I mean, we've got to stay locked in on passing. We want to spread against these middles that are a little bit slow laterally, and we need to swing away. I just feel like we're playing tentative right now, and that's not our identity. It's not who we are. I don't know why that's happening, but we'll talk about it here in the break.
I appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tight first 2 sets, 25-22, 25-23, both going in favor of number 5 Stanford, and we're now joined by their head coach Kevin Hamley. Coach, it's been a close one so far. How would you grade the first 2 sets for your team?
Well, I thought it was really high error in the first set for us, and I think we gave them 13 points, which is tough to overcome, and I don't think we put much pressure on them. We found a way to win, which is, it's a good quality. But I think we can still play a whole lot cleaner. I think they're going to get caught up in the missed serves, and that's what we just talked about. The missed serves haven't mattered. We missed, I think, 14 in the 2 sets, and that's we'll deal with that. Hopefully, play a little bit cleaner. I think we're thinking about that. But hitting the ball out and all that, I thought we cleaned that up a bunch. But so did they in that second set. So I expect them to come out and fight a little bit harder and put a little bit more pressure on us. We need to do the same because I don't think we're playing at a really high level right now.
Your setter, Kimmy Miner, looks really in sync with your middles. What else do you want to see from her with your offense, getting them involved?
Yeah, I'd like to actually get the slide going just a little bit more, because when Sammy's going, it kind of opens some things up, and we've missed on that a little bit. Certainly she got to Lizzie, which is great. And then we need to get Jordan going just to get a little bit more balance, because otherwise you're going to start loading up on our outsides, and we don't want to play that game. They're pretty big and physical, and they make some good plays.
All right, appreciate it, Coach.
Yeah, thanks,
Good luck.
Good luck.
Set number 3, the always cool, calm, and collected Kevin Hamley. His team taking the first 2 sets. The second one, just like the first, shall be back and forth. And like he said, the service errors have not come back to hurt them.
And Kevin Hamley wants his team to be the hardest serving team in the nation. That's going to come with errors, but it's what kind of errors? Is this really close where SMU might touch the ball thinking it's in, or is it straight in the net, killing the momentum that Kimmy Miner and offense has worked so hard to get?
You know, we talked to SMU's head coach, Sam Erger, before the break. She was frustrated her team could not take advantage of Stanford's miscues. The Cardinal, number 12 in the nation in hitting percentage. They're only hitting .243. They have 13 service errors compared to just 3 aces. But what does it say about how talented they are that they still haven't dropped this set despite all those numbers?
Well, Stanford is that constant team. They are one of the most poised teams I've ever covered. They don't look rattled. But for SMU, that's also what makes them so good. Their first match against Pitt, they were down 13-22. You couldn't even tell SMU was down. I would like to see that body language in this third set against a really talented team, Stanford.
And that all stems from the head coach, the 2-time national champion, Kevin Hambley. You can tell talking to him, just so poised, never gets rattled. Same thing for his team. As for SMU, fresh off that upset of number 1 Pitt over the weekend, up against it now, down 2-0 here at home. We'll see how Sam Erger's squad responds. It'll be Elena Ogilvy serving for Stanford to begin set number 3. Cullen flying in, Tabron meeting the Stanford block, and the Cardinal pick up where they left off.
A block is the exact way you want to start a set. It suffocates your opponent, it gets them discouraged, and it really questions their offense. Where else can they go to avoid this happening again?
And after this match, Stanford's going to stay here in Dallas for a few days and then fly to Pittsburgh to take on number 1 Pitt on Sunday on ESPN. Part of their huge ACC road trip. They are flying all over the country through every time zone this year. It's certainly looking no worse for the wearer tonight. Ogilvy. Cullen. In the middle, Foster denied. One-handed, Bolton saved it. Foster can't get it over the net, and SMU, you wonder if they're a little rattled right now. The Cardinal up 2-0 here in the third.
SMU can't be rattled. That was great defensive effort. If that ball would have gone over and SMU got the play, my opinion, that could have been a SportsCenter top 10 play right there.
Again, this is all new for the Mustangs this year, ranked for the first time in program history. There is service error number 14, however, for the Cardinal.
And both coaches said the same thing. First, service errors are killing us. Second, we have to spread the middle and get our middles involved on the slide. So Kevin Hambley and Sam Erger really are matching game plans right now.
SMU has to start taking advantage of those miscues. Tabron. Reminder. Charging in was Jordan Harvey. Jamison Wheeler into the block. On the other side, Chimay denied, and it is out of play. Mustangs tie it up at 2.
Looks like Kevin Hambley will be challenging this one. Right to your screen, where does the ball land? Oh, that's a great challenge. It looks like that ball was right in. And
Original
clearly,
call was ball out, point SMU. Stanford is challenging that the ball was in.
Good challenge. Elia Rubin turning immediately to Kevin Hambley saying, Coach, that was in. I do think Hambley had a good eye on the ball, but oftentimes coaches won't see the play, but they will listen to their players if they say, Coach, I promise you that was in. Oh, great call. Right on the line. And again, to get that call overturned, there has to be overwhelming video evidence. In my opinion, that shot right there is pretty overwhelming.
After review, the call is reversed. The ball was in, point Stanford.
Remember, Kevin Hambley had a huge challenge late in the first set. And that was proven to be successful and put his team within 1 of winning the set. He wins another challenge here, and it's 3-1 Stanford. All smiles for Hambley's squad right now. They're hitting .239, SMU hitting .127, 3 aces for the Cardinal, none so far on the night for the Mustangs. Melissa Kawa, the freshman out of the athletic powerhouse that is Mater Dei High School in California, serving for Stanford. Chimay, that one deflecting off of Kawa for the point.
Cowan was in the right spot. The issue was her platform moving once contact was made, and she's young. I covered her during the Under Armour match. She's one of the best players for her age in the nation. She just has to adjust to how fast the college game is played.
Chimay had 20 kills against Pitt. She has 5 tonight. Foster. Pushed over by Francis. Cullen. Wheeler. That one is in. Kevin Hambley thought about challenging it, reading his players' faces, and he'll back off.
It's all in the placement in this ball. Look where it lands, right in that seam. Yeah, good call not taking that challenge. It looks plenty into me.
Tied at 3 here in the third.
Nice serve.
Kevin Hambley said he was concerned how his team would respond to Foster's serve. She's one of the best in the nation. They have responded to that challenge and handled her well.
Right now, Stanford is doing such a good job at playing out of system. Look how off this ball is from Cami Minor, but still, Alelia Rubin is able to make that kill happen and keep her head in the play.
Rubin 11 kills, nearly an ace for Stanford. Wheeler, that one may have been headed out. Ogilvy was there. Tabron in the middle. Okamore diving for it was Kawa. Stanford can't get it over the net, tied at 4.
Rare hitting error of that kind from Stanford. SMU has to say thank you for that point on the platter. I'm going to go back for Chimay and go on a run. We have yet to see either team pull away and go on a run. That just shows you really good defense on both sides.
Stanford came in hitting .291, 12th in the nation. They're hitting .227, but it has not come back to hurt them. Service error number 9, meanwhile, for SMU. 9 service errors for the Mustangs, 14 for Stanford. And at least the Cardinal, 3 aces to show for it. Francis looking to add on another, but a service error.
There really is not an excuse for the service errors at this point. It has to be so frustrating. Honestly, at this point, 24 service errors, that's almost an entire set of back and forth service errors right there.
See if Natalie Purdue can provide the same spark she did late against Pitt. And stepping up was Maya Tabron.
Tabron been saying her name all night for her kills, but she is getting in on that block action. She's really patient at the net. She's waiting, watching that footwork, and making sure her and Andrew's shoulders are perfectly aligned.
6 kills, 3 blocks, and 3 digs for Tabron, trying to keep her team alive. And there's ace number 1 by SMU, courtesy of Natalie Purdue.
When your team is struggling service-wise and you get the ace, this is the momentum Purdue needs to bring to our team. Could be the biggest momentum change for SMU so far this night.
The Dallas native putting her squad up by 2 with a service error.
To be fair, in volleyball, if you make an ace, then follow up with a service error, it's a wash right there. Your coach, obviously no one's making a service error, but if you got an ace beforehand, you're really in the green.
That ends a 3-0 SMU run. Cami Minor serving. 2-time Pac-12 setter of the year. Cullen pushes it over to Tabron, and Stanford was ready. Back to the senior they go, off the tape, and the point for SMU, back up by 2.
Tabron going for the deep cut shot. It worked for her early, but the problem was she touched the net. That made the ball bounce up, going out. Just a little more snap, a little higher. When you make contact, that ball's gonna drop.
Ellie Bolton, 86 career aces, going back to her time playing for Creighton. Rubin on the attack. Tabron was there. On the other side, Jordan Harvey. Tabron took something off of it. Harvey off the block. Minor from the back row. The point by Elia Rubin.
Elia Rubin getting in on the action from behind the 10-foot line. Stanford really hasn't utilized utilize the back row attack too much, keeping that in their pocket. I like Cami Minor going with that back row action to Ruben.
SMU hanging on by one in front of the second largest crowd in program history, 2,761 on hand tonight. Pringle with the service error, number 16 for Stanford.
And a new scenery is something that Stanford and SMU are going to have to get used to, playing teams that not only they haven't played in non-conference, but at all. New gyms, new people, new coaches, a lot to get used to, traveling from coast to coast, literally.
Celia Cullen with her team up by 2 here in the third. Tabron pops it up and digs it out. What a set by Cullen. And the point by SMU as the Mustangs have come to life here in the third.
Maya Tabron, definition of stay in the play. Look at her overpass, but she immediately watches the ball and runs and covers her own overpass. She is not letting her air turn into a point for Stanford.
Celia Cullen, former American Athletic Conference Setter of the Year. Her team going on a run with her serving. Chemay. This time it's Tabron tooling the block. 4-point SMU lead, which feels huge in a match that has been so close right from the start.
Tabron does such a good job at keeping that aggressive swing when the ball is a platform set from over her shoulder. This allows her to literally fly into the net.
Week. Back here in Dallas, the Mustangs, the host squad, ranked number 12 in the nation, highest ranking in program history, trying to rally down 2 sets to nothing. This heavily hyped matchup between number 12 SMU and number 5 Stanford. Living up to billing here in the third as the Mustangs trying to make a match of it. First 2 sets extremely close. What a job defensively by Brooke Frazier for SMU to keep that rally going. Excellent play.
Nice up.
On the attack and wide from Ruben.
Both SMU and Stanford's middles are doing such a good job at standing their ground when it comes to battle at the net. When there's an overpass, they are not letting that ball cross their hands.
Cullen and the Mustangs on a 4-0 run. There have been 27 service errors combined tonight. 11 now for SMU, 16 for Stanford.
And Cullen with the error, but a 4-0 run is what you want. You don't ever want a service error, but when you can hold on to the ball for that long, you're doing a good job serving.
There's Elena Ogilvy, 96 career aces entering the night. That one hammered off of Foster, and Stanford responds emphatically.
Tabron with the overpass, but I like that she's the first one to go to the huddle and say, hey, my bad. That's what elite players have to do, is forget about the mistake and move on, because if she dwells on that, she won't keep getting the kills for her team.
Elia Rubin now 1 kill away from 1,000 for her career. Her team within 3. Foster responds with a point for the Mustangs.
Maya Tabron had an overpass the last play, gave Stanford the point. Stanford served back at her, and Tabron gives a 3-option pass. Sam Erger's team makes adjustment in real time. This is what makes SMU such an elite team.
Tabron serving. She's got a match-high 8 kills for SMU, and an ace to boot.
Tabron going from overpassing to a 3-option pass to getting the ace. This is a mentally strong volleyball player. She's okay with her mistakes. She knows that she can fix them the next ball.
She's got 13 aces in her last 7 matches. See what she does for an encore. Swooping in and getting the kill is Jordan Harvey. 4-point set.
Kevin Hamway talks about how athletic Jordan Harvey is. He said that one hit against Boston College, she hit the 10-foot line, and her arm swing looked like this. Look how much she drops her left shoulder, reaches her right hand. That forces her to have the highest contact possible.
Cousin of Aaron Gordon, and an NBA title with the Denver Nuggets a year ago, but service error number 17 gives SMU the 5-point lead now in a set they have to win if they want to keep the match alive. Service error has been an ongoing theme. It hasn't hurt Stanford so far, but now down 5. Dangerous server here for SMU, one of the best in the country. Can't get it across. Sam Erger looks on, her team out hitting Stanford 188 to 056 in this must-win set for the Ponies. Rubin with the serve. Here comes Jamison Wheeler off the block. Back to the Austin, Texas native they go. Kawa is there. Minor. Francis, one-handed by Ellie Bolton. Wheeler on the attack and gets the point.
MVP of this play for SMU, Ellie Bolton. Look at that up. Not just the contact made, but no shaking. She keeps that ball up in play, allowing her offense to get a strong hit and then giving her flowers after the play is done.
One of the 9 seniors on this experienced SMU squad, Ellie Bolton. That one off of Frazier. And Stanford gets the point. There is the kill for Ipar Kurt. Haven't called her name in a while. She was very effective in that opening set.
And Bolton and Frazier are both in the libero jersey for SMU. That's a new rule this season where you can have 2 liberos changing in and out, along with the doubles for setting now allowed this year as well.
Served by the freshman Taylor Yu. Okamore into the Stanford block.
Okamore completely denied SMU trying to get the slide involved, which Sam Erger said we have to do this 3rd set, but Stanford just all over waiting for that ball to go in their hands.
All of a sudden Stanford now within 3 and serving. Cullen. And Jamison Wheeler reaching for that one. One-handed was Yu. Jamison Wheeler off the block. That one off Chimay and out of play. And here comes Ipar Kurt, the Cardinal.
Kurt this season's been working on making better choices when attacking, and going line shot was the perfect choice to make. The block was so far in the middle, it left that line shot wide open. One-on-one, her and Chimay gets the kill.
2-point set. A little bit of miscommunication there with the Mustangs. Chimay can't get to it, and Stanford has pulled within 1.
That was not Chimay's ball. Chimay is in right back. This ball was up in the air left back. The front row needs to help out SMU's defense. That's not Chimay's fault. SMU usually does a good job at keeping their eye on the ball, but this was not it. Watch this ball. Chimay number 7, right on your screen, goes all the way. That is not her ball, right here. That's where you need to have Wheeler step in. Even though she's the middle waiting to hit, she needs to be able to help defensively, which she usually does a good job at.
Well, the Season 5 premiere of All Access, the ACC Life, is Thursday night and features Duke women's volleyball, North Carolina men's soccer, and Stanford women's soccer. You'll get unprecedented access into the lives of the student athletes, coaches, staff, parents, fans, you name it, we got it. 9 Eastern right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. So Shelby, SMU led by 5. You can feel momentum swinging back the other way. What's changed over the last few minutes here that's helped Stanford go on this 4-0 run?
Serving, no service errors, consistency, going for the seams, not letting SMU get a free point. If these two teams can just keep getting the ball over the net at the service line, you can go on these scoring runs. We didn't see any of these runs in the first or second set. We've now seen both SMU and Stanford get a 4-point run.
Well, Kevin Hambley emphatic in the Stanford huddle right now. You usually don't see him get too animated over there, but having some words now motivating his team as they have pulled within 1. They win this set and it's over.
Well, Kevin Hambley, like his setter Cami Minor, she's not the loud vocal one on the court, but when she is, you listen. When Kevin Hambley raises his voice, you listen and you do what this national championship coach does.
Well, he says the time is now. They took the first 2 sets 25-22, 25-23, and now within 1 in the 3rd. From the back row, Chimay answers with a big point to end the run for SMU.
Shanae, so athletic. Look how deep her approach starts from behind the 10-foot line. Flying into the ball. She's one of the most athletic players Sam Erger has ever coached. Can dunk a volleyball. And you can see her showing off that vertical in that back row attack.
Kevin Hamley told us, as Shanae goes, that's how SMU goes. Does not want to let her get hot and get on a run. Minor. Hurt off of Purdue. Just saving it, Tabron, but that one all out of sorts, and again, Stanford pulling within one.
That point's an example of how it's hard to play here in the Moody Coliseum, because I saw Celia Colin trying to tell Tabron, help, help, I cannot get that ball, but she can't see that she's calling for help or hear her, so it was till the last second, but again, it really wasn't either of their fault. It's just hard to communicate in this gym.
Second largest crowd in program history tonight watching this top 25 matchup. Cami Minor, the two-time All-American serving. Her team within one. And number 18 for Stanford on the night.
And we talked about how Stanford has a long road series. They'll be in Dallas the next 2 days. I would imagine Kevin Hamley is going to have a lot of service drills for them while they're here.
Here's Ellie Bolton, senior out of Kansas. Pops one off the tape. Tapped over, Tabron. Cullen. Sliding over is Foster. Rubin saves it. And a free ball for the Mustangs. Here comes Foster with the point. SMU back up by 3.
Sam Erger wanted her middles involved, especially from behind the setter, and they are finding success. Foster going behind Cullen, and that slows down the block for Stanford, leaving that block wide open.
Well, she's been one of the best hitters in the nation over the last 2 years, coming up big there. Flying it is Kurt, denied by the block, and that one dropping just out of bounds. Stanford ends up getting the point.
Stanford doing volleyball 101. Get your foot to the line. Notice how all the Cardinals chased that ball down. That was a great block. It was really close, but they were on the line and able to decide this ball is not in play.
Here's Anna Pringle. Bolton. Tabron off hands. Minor in the middle, and the point by Elia Rubin, as she has now reached 1,000 for her storied career, the All-American junior.
Elia Rubin for her 1,000th kill, picking on Tabron. She keeps going for the line. She's also picking on Cullen. When the setter is up, she is trying to touch those hands. Shows you how smart of a hitter she is.
Stanford has tied it up at 19. Tabron slow to get up. Well, for Elia Rubin, meanwhile, we mentioned now 1,000 career kills, and she's just a junior. But more importantly, she has helped bring Stanford right back into this third set. They trailed by 5 just a few minutes ago, Shelby. And now all of a sudden it's 19 all. And a timeout called. And right now, Ellie Bolton asking for the floor to be cleaned up a little bit. We've seen on the SMU side, whether it's due to miscommunication or a slippery floor, some players falling awkwardly at times. Well, now if you're Sam Erger, what do you tell your team? You have to win this set, and all of a sudden Stanford has come right back and tied it.
Keep getting the middles involved, and also look at each other if you need help. You cannot hear each other. You got to do better at communicating when your home gym is this loud. Look in the eyes, try and read lips.
Stanford on a 3-0 run, trying to grab the lead. Foster off the block, off Ogilvy, and the point goes to SMU, 20-19.
All-out effort for Anna Pringle. I really like her trying to back up Elena Ogilvy for that up, but SMU's offense just too brutal for Stanford right now.
Celia Cullen, the senior out of Brighton, Michigan, with a big serve right now. Bolton was there. Cullen, Tabron, that's in. Point Mustangs, up by 2.
Maya Tabron with the jam. Nice job at reading that line. It's open. Look how up Cami Minor is. Number 2, black jersey. She is right behind that block, and she is sacrificing the right back, leaving that ball wide open to hit the floor.
What a set as Kevin Hambley calls timeout. SMU led by 5. Stanford came right back. They had the momentum. And then out of the commercial, the Mustangs go back up by 2.
And neither team's hitting over 250 right now. Stanford 245, SMU 200. But that's not just errors. That's because the defense is all out. There is a lot of digs getting these balls up. Stanford has 30, SMU has 34. This has been one of my favorite matches this season so far to watch when it comes to the back row play.
Stanford trying to make it 5 wins in a row for SMU. They have beaten 4 ranked teams this year. 3 of those ended up being sweeps. But in trouble here up against the ropes, down 2-0 against Kevin Hambley's squad. Both of these teams in their first ever meeting 5-1 in ACC play.
And Stanford's being mentally and physically tested right now, being in Boston, now Dallas, then Pittsburgh, while home is in California. That is a lot on anyone to travel. And you know when you travel, your body starts to shut down. That's when colds come in, you get sick. Stanford is tired. They have school. They're on the road. This is when Kevin Hambley sees how tough his team can be pushed.
They trail by 2. With Celia Cullen serving for SMU. The Mustangs hitting 207 in this set, Stanford 250. Ogilvie is there, Minor. On the attack, Harvey, that's in.
Cami Minor really out-assistant pass to her. She could have just chunked it up to a back row player, but she positions herself, moves her body, and faces Jordan Harvey, allowing her to get a full swing and perfect set and hit from these players.
Elena Ogilvie, the 5th-year senior, the 2-time All-American serving. That is service error, yes. Number 19 compared to 3 aces for Stanford. 19
service errors for Stanford. That is almost giving SMU an entire set. And Stanford's up 2. Imagine what this match would look like if they didn't have these errors like this.
Sam Erger told us have to start taking advantage of those mistakes by Stanford. That one smashed down by Elia Rubin.
This kill by Rubin is what we in volleyball call bouncing balls. Look at this ball bounce, how high it goes in the air. Boom, right here. That just shows you how hard she is hitting, how close to the net she is hitting, and making that ball drop right after the 10-foot line.
15 kills, Stanford again within 1. Harvey, service error number 20 on the night for Stanford.
It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch a team give up 20 points to their opponents. And SMU struggled too, 12 service errors, but it's still nothing compared to 20.
Foster leading the ACC in aces. Charging in is Rubin. That is kill number 16.
Rubin hitting like she is angry, and I like this reaction from her, telling Cami Minor, give me the quick, really low set, forcing that approach to speed up, leaving only Chimay one-on-one on her, and again, making that ball drop right in the middle of the court, and I like the body language from her as well.
Crowd coming alive here at Moody Coliseum. SMU trying to get to set point. Wheeler has to reach back for it. On the attack, Kurt, and we are tied at 23. And we may have a challenge, and we will, as Sam Erger issues the green card.
This is absolutely when you challenge if you are Sam Erger, even if you don't think that ball was potentially out.
Original call was point Stanford. SMU is challenging that the ball was out.
And again, whether this goes SMU's way or not, this is breaking momentum for Stanford.
After review, the call is confirmed.
Wow.
Point Stanford.
The quickest review in history means we are tied at 23.
Well, like I said, even if Sam Erger knew it was in, she's trying to break the momentum. That's a good call by her. Slow Stanford down. Use the challenge card as a free timeout.
Okay, we're all knotted up at 23. Stanford wins the set. It's over. Rubin serving. Cullen. Sliding over Francis on the attack. Cullen with the dig. Free ball for the Cardinal. Golden opportunity. Kirk with the point. And match point on the way for Stanford. And a timeout by SMU.
Kurt making the perfect decision to take a little bit off her arm and make that ball drop right over the block. I even thought she was going for that all-out swing. Such a deceptive outside, right at your screen. Watch her pause her arm midair, right there. Her hand stops, her arm stops. That makes the ball stop as well. It drops right over the block. It leaves the right back for SMU completely stunned, thinking a hard hit is coming. Great decision from her.
Ipar Kurt with the best week of her young career. She's the reigning ACC Freshman of the Week. Hit nearly 700 against Boston College in her last match. And tonight, 14 kills, hitting .333 with a couple of blocks to boot.
And I loved talking to Kevin Hamley this week. He said after their Boston match, of course you know Stanford is successful in the classroom, but he said my players went up to their study hall after the match and went and did more homework and studying. Personally, playing college volleyball, I never studied after a match. I'm going to bed, I'm tired, I'm over the day, but these players start their workday right after the match. That's how mentally strong these players are.
And now fitting that Rubin will serve for the match. What a performance she's had tonight. 16 kills, topped 1,000 for her career. And Stanford trying to finish off a sweep of number 12 SMU in Dallas. High off Wheeler. Jamison Wheeler on the attack. SMU not dead yet.
Jamison Wheeler is not afraid to have the all-out hit match point. The same swing from the beginning to end. I love that confidence.
Remember, you have to win this set by 2. Naya Chabet serving for SMU. And a big service error match point again coming up for Stanford. 13 service errors for the Mustangs. It'll be Taylor Yu, the freshman setter out of Temple City, California, serving for the match. Cullen flying in at the last second. Wheeler, that is pinpoint accuracy to save the match, at least for now.
Wheeler is the clutch player for SMU tonight. She has grown 5 inches in her vertical. That is the work she put in the offseason that you can see translate to the court against one of the best teams in the nation.
She has come up with the 2 biggest kills of the night for SMU. Tied at 25. Have to win by 2. Natalie Purdue serving. Minor from the back row. That one blasted home by Rubin, but dug out. Tabron. That one is in. Close call. SMU with match point on the way.
It doesn't get better than this. SMU not caring about the scoreboard, but going right for the back row.
Set point for SMU, rather. Joust. Cullen just sends it over. Then set point for the Mustangs. Down 2 sets to nothing. And SMU, well, hold on, it was touched. The fans thought they won the set. No, it was touched. So we're tied at 26. This place erupted for a second until the official ruling.
And Cammie Minor, back row, taking her out of the offense for Stanford, which is going to help SMU when it comes to reading for the blockers.
Minor, the two-time All-American. That one was headed well out of play. Instead, Stanford ends up with the point. Looked like it was going to be another service error.
Got to keep that ball on your side from SMU. No overpasses to the Cardinals. But SMU doing such a great job at trying to fix their errors and help their teammates out.
Match point again for Stanford, with one of the greatest players in the nation serving. Wow. Service error number 21 for Stanford. Sam Erger shouting out instructions. What an epic third set from Moody Coliseum. Here is Ellie Bolton. Tapped over by Harvey, and somehow it found the floor.
SMU's effort was there. Watch Maya Tabron come from all the way to the left back, running, trying to get this ball. But it doesn't matter. Harvey's eye vision is that good, seeing that the behind the block is completely wide open and trusting the tip.
Another match point for the Cardinal. There's Ipar Kurt, the talented freshman. Tabron hammers one. We're tied again.
Kills for Maya Tabron. Zero fear of the Stanford block. You got to make sure there's forehands touching. If you give her any kind of split, she will get the kill.
Win or lose, SMU showing some serious fight here late in the third. Cullen, Minor, and that one is in. Match point on the way yet again for the Cardinal.
Cami Minor so far off the net with this set. Watch number 2, and she puts it perfectly in that window. She can flick that ball from anywhere on the court and set her hitter up for success.
Elena Ogilvie, the two-time All-American for the match. Foster in the middle. Ogilvie tapped over. Here's Chimay with the point. This is unreal. It truly does not get any better than what we've seen over the last few minutes here in Dallas.
Chimay with the two-step approach, just reaching as high as she can. Again, SMU pins are not rolling or tipping. It's all-out hits.
Here is Maya Tabron. One ace on the night. Team high 11 kills. Tapped over, reaching for that one was Cullen. Chimay waits for it and just pushes it over. Here is Rubin into Foster in the SMU block. Set point, Mustangs. So used to say match point for Stanford because they've had so many opportunities, but now SMU with a golden chance to take set number 3.
Foster with the block, which I'm sure Chimay is praying that happened. It looks like the lights made the ball get lost in Chimay's eyes, which is why she gave Stanford that free ball.
Okay, here we go. Tabron serving for the set. Back to Rubin they go, and Stanford answers. Well, former President George W. Bush picked a heck of a match to attend. This third set in its own has felt like a whole separate match. Jordan Harvey, Bolton, set by Cullen. Chimay puts that one away.
With their best hits with the end of the third set. They are rising to the occasion. These outsides and right sides are not scared of the pressure. They are going to all-out swings.
Set point again for number 12, SMU. One of the best servers in the nation. Foster. Too strong.
So new volleyball rule change. You get a 40 points the third set, okay? It doesn't get any better. Both teams answering each other. Punch for punch.
Back to Elia Rubin we go, tied at 31 here in the third. Here comes Chimay, again with the point for the Mustangs. Set point SMU. In this set, the Mustangs offense coming alive, hitting .325. Casey Batenhorst, the junior out of Houston, serving for the set. Here's Kurt, the freshman. That one off Wheeler. Kurt hammers one in.
The fact that Kurt could make that ball drop in while staying off the net on such a tight set shows she has such a body awareness to the court.
An exhausting third set. And we're tied at 32. Francis serving. Bolton. That one put home. Minor and the Cardinal up by one. Here is Sammy Francis, the senior, serving for the match. Unbelievable. The crowd getting their money's worth. Second biggest crowd in program history. Here's Natalie Purdue. Is it the excitement of the atmosphere? Is it just, what is it, Shelby?
It could be. When the ball is going really deep that hard, you are trying to go for that ace. You're being really aggressive, and SMU is not playing scared right now. Again, want to avoid the error, though.
For the umpteenth time, match point Cardinal. Tabron. Here's Ipar Kurt. Okamore nearly saved the day, but the point continues. Cullen. Here comes Okamore. Dug out by Rubin. Kurt took something off of it. Kurt off hands, and there it is. An epic third set ends with a Stanford sweep.
Kurt started tipping. It was working against SMU. Mustang started reading her arm better, and she went for the all-out swing, going for the fingertips of SMU. Stanford able to get over their 22 service error match with the win. With their offense, the defense from Ogilvie was unmatched, but the outside hitting was the story for Stanford. And SMU not afraid whatsoever to take those huge rips, hitting like it's the beginning of the match. Sam Erger's team is not afraid of the Stanford team. What a match.
What a fitting final point here. It's such a close match. The fact that it was a sweep is very deceiving as Kurt puts it away. These sets were so close, 25-22, 25-23, and 35-33. SMU playing their heart out, but how about the job by Stanford going on the road and improving to 14-2 on the year, 6-1 in ACC play. And as you can see, thrilled with the victory.
Stanford 7-2 in matches, going to 3 sets. That just shows you this is a clutch team who can make real-time adjustments.
And we're now joined in just a moment by Elia Rubin, who just had a magnificent performance. Team high 18 kills at nearly 370 and reached the 1,000 kill mark for her career, helping Stanford take down number 12 SMU. What a performance by the junior All-American. as we get your microphone settled. Okay, I think you're good to go. Enough filling by me. Elliot, what a performance. It felt like a postseason atmosphere out here tonight.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think we came in ready to expect that. SMU just came off a huge win against Pitt. It wasn't our cleanest volleyball, but we just said, like, we battled, and that's what we're looking for. It gets us ready for the postseason, like you said. So it's matches like that we, you just got to fight. It's not always clean, but we did it.
And you say not always clean, but having 22 service errors and still sweeping one of the best teams in the nation. What was going right to face that adversity?
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about in our gym, like, Kevin doesn't care about our service errors if we're attacking the court hard and we're attacking the team. I think the first 2 sets, our service errors were just kind of sloppy service errors. They weren't, like, attacking the court. So we tried to clean that up a little bit. But, I mean, other than that, we were just, we were trying to stay in rhythm with our passing. Like, they were a really good serving team. So we tried to match that with our serve receive, and I think that we did a good job at that.
You mentioned the service errors. What does it tell you about your team that you can commit 22 service errors and still pull off a sweep of the number 12 team in the nation?
Yeah, I mean, it's just about battling back with our serve receive because, teams are going to serve us just as hard as we try to serve other teams. So it's something we work on. Just as much as we work on our serving, we work on our serve receive, and that gets us in system, and then Cammie's able to run her amazing offense. So it's great, yeah.
Congratulations on 1,000 career kills. What's the #1 thing you want to bring to Stanford offensively?
I mean, I'm just lucky to play around, like, other good players, and so Cammie's allowed to, she has 4 options at all times, sometimes only 3, but I think just playing around the other players, I'm able to, it opens up the court for me. Sometimes I have a lot of one-on-ones, and so it's just, she gives me good opportunities to get kills.
How does it feel to be in the ACC? This is part of a big road trip for you all. You're going to stay here in Dallas for a few more nights and then take on the #1 team in the nation, Pitt, on Sunday on ESPN.
Yeah, I mean, we're excited for this road trip, but it's also, it's going to take a lot for us to stay focused. We're missing a lot of class this week, which all of us are working with. So it's just a battle between, like, today we wanted to stay focused on the match, and then the next 2 days we're going to focus on our schoolwork that we're missing, and then get back to focusing and preparing for Pitt because they're an amazing team. So we got a lot to prepare for.
Congratulations on the win tonight. Elliot Rubin with quite a performance, reaching 1,000 career kills, 18 on the night to lead the way for her squad. Number 5 Stanford sweeping number 12 SMU 25-22, 25-23, and 35-33. We will send it over to the studios. We wrap things up here from Dallas. For Shelby Coppage, I'm Alex Loeb. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.